Beverly Hills 90210 fans.
You know how when they yell cut, they wouldn't stop.
That's interesting.
What?
Yes.
If you were Donna, what would you have said?
I said,
A waitress rather call the police, and she was mistaken 90210 for cops.
Along with your hosts, Charles Rosen,
But look at that Dean cake. And Dan probably got the best performance he ever gave.
We're having a meeting here?
Oh, at least there's one person on this forgotten set that knows what they're doing.
Larry
I had a friend
Mullen,
named Craig Richland. There was still cocaine around and stuff. I always remembered him. I just kind of thought I would honor my coke dealer.
Get out of here!
Pete Ferrero,
Here's what I learned. It's possible Claire would have gone out with me.
that was your takeaway?
so sit back and relax because it's like totally time for the Beverly Hills 90210 show.
Just hold on to me tonight.
Okay, here we are on the Beverly Hills 90210 show. Let's just get right to Larry, who's got a virtual background, and please explain what we're looking at, where you are. You're no longer in California. There's just so much information happening with Larry Mullen right now.
We're in Montgomery, Ohio, in the Valley outside of Cincinnati, and to help raise August John, very talented and productive 4-month-old. And things are settling in. I miss all your faces, so I'm glad to see everybody. And that's what's going on.
How was the move? Did you drive? What boxes? And
No, we had. We didn't take any furniture, but we took all. I had like 30 boxes of Chuck will appreciate because he goes through his archives. 30 boxes of paper, basically, of scripts and stuff, and then basically my pinball machine and a bunch of artwork and then we flew there. I had a car sent and we bought a new car and just jumped into this house. We had 2 escrows closing concurrently and sold the Lighthouse Beach place, which we miss our friends there. And then we took over Sugar Creek, this place which needs a total renovation as we're discovering, and our shakedown cruise as we move in. So that's what's going on.
And Chuck Rosen's here with us, who won't be here for the full show, but because we're looking at stuff that he doesn't care about.
You mean we're looking at stuff about America? You mean, is that what it is?
Well, I meant Dailies, but that as well. Are we okay to talk about what happened last week?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Well, the Rams just didn't show up. I don't know. Well, that was this week.
They beat the Dolphins. That was kind of annoying that they didn't.
Oh, really annoying. Yeah. But not
well,
as
you know
Larry,
place in this week. You know place in this week, though.
Larry, I don't mean to make fun, but I know you will. What have you done what do you have now? Ohio stuff you put on your hair? What your hair looks?
I don't know. I just
your hair looks different. You look.
I know he cut my hair, and I took.
He cut your hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, part of it is the virtual thing, though. I think it's cutting my hair off a bit.
This is the Cincinnati kid
No,
look.
I think it's D cut your hair. I think that was, she lost her cosmetologist license, I think.
Yeah. No, I did.
That's better. That's better. That's a little better. Yeah. Okay. I got you. I got
as you can see, I have nothing on the walls because we're going to have to move out of here to do all this work. So there's no point in putting the office totally together.
I was just, it's been a time of disengagement. I actually put out a little letter to people. I wanted to, some of the super fans know this because they responded to it, that I go on, I haven't watched the news in a week.
Of course.
And I used to have the news on in the background. It's kind of like my Muzak. And so it's an adjustment on that. And I'm still always, have some friends on Facebook and so I go on Facebook and I see that there's a guy I went to high school with who actually became a rabbi. And he posted like maybe 2 days before the election, he was down in Georgia and he was campaigning for Kamala. His daughter lives there and his granddaughter. So he was down there visiting. And he and his wife were there, and I guess they were campaigning for Kamala. And he writes about it. And all of a sudden, 2 other people I know who I went to high school with are just completely beating this guy up. just in that way that Facebook people can, and
Of course.
especially with the thing. And it was over Israel, and it was just, okay, guys, you know what, Facebook? I'm, an old guy, and I did very fine many years before I ever was a member. I don't go on Twitter. I think it's the end, so I don't know what goes on in the MAGA world. I don't know what goes on, or the X world, or the Meta world. And I decided, so I put it out there that I'm going to disengage from Facebook. But I am, and I wanted certain fans to know that if they get in touch with you or me, I am going to start doing like kind of a weekly connection with people. I'm just not going to do it that way. And I've had about some nice response from Facebook friends who want to stay in touch. And I wanted to tell others there that if they do, I'd love to hear from them. And because it really makes a difference, I've been feeling, just a little disaffected, a little, well, what's going to be? It's, every day I take my dogs to the beach. There's just Larry and Dee aren't there. It's just a construction zone where they used to live. And the days are beautiful. You're missing some great days. It's just beautiful on the beach at sunset and things. But
is there scaffolding up on my building?
Not on the building, but they've totally taken out everything that's in your building. There's nothing there. I mean, Hope told me they've cut it back to the studs everywhere.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm talking to Larry.
Larry, it's not your building anymore, Larry. It's not.
And he's got no pepperoni for you, so shut up.
You can't.
Okay.
And anyway, so but I do I have to, for my leg surgery, I've been doing aquatic therapy. And I was there today at, like 11:40 was my time. And my guy, at a certain point, you do some stuff in the deep end. Now I'm in the shallow end. And when I'm in the shallow end, he says, so I didn't know, I saw you on television. And I went, oh, he said, and he I guess, you remember I was on the roof a few years ago and I did the dark side of the 90s.
Yes.
And I talked about Fox, the start of Fox in our show and things like that. And he had seen that. And he's having a conversation about it. And he was too young to watch our show. He's in 30s, and he didn't pick it up. So it's like, okay, nice conversation. And he couldn't believe that I never mentioned. I told him that, about that I had some health problems right after I had left a strenuous job, but I never told him what I did for a living. So he was stunned that I didn't ever told him. I said, well, what am I going to do? Hi, I produced a television show 30 years ago. I mean, what? I mean, I said, I know we live in Los Angeles, but even I am not that shameless. But the session's now over, and everybody gets out of the pool who's at the same time. And this guy who I've seen there once or twice walks by me and says, I was a big fan of your show. And we start talking. And he tells me that the gun episode changed he and his brother's life. That they watched it. They were from rural Illinois, and it was a gun family, and and that he actually went in the military, but that they watched it all the time and how much it meant to him. And it was like such a nice pick me up, I should say. And in my bag, the shirt I was changing into was my Beverly Hills Beach Club shirt.
Nice.
And I gave it to him.
Oh, that's great.
You might want this. And he was so appreciative. And I just wanted to share the love and just to say that, you guys, we get stuff from you all the time about how much you appreciate the show we made and the impact it had on you, or the podcast we do and have done, and the impact it had on you, particularly during COVID. And, but I just want you to know it's a two-way street. And, if, our national nightmare, I don't know how it's going to end or when it's going to end, but if there's a betting line that they're doing on elections or things or political appointments, bet the pass line that Matt Gaetz will not be the Attorney General of the United States. because Trump wants to nominate him.
I saw that today.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. So that's my only bit of political news. I'm disengaging on that, disengaging with Facebook, and just basically disengaging. But not disengaging with the people I love. So I hope that people will follow up and give me their contact informations I can use. I'm going to do it through email in the beginning, but I've heard there's a thing called Blue Skies. I don't know if people have heard about this.
I have heard about that.
Oh, yes.
And it's just a kind of a new social media that is set up in a way that will kind of minimize bullying. And that was always been my problem with what was there. So,
well, I mean, I unfollowed and unfriended a whole bunch of people from Facebook this week because of their comments about the election and whatnot. I just didn't have the tolerance for it anymore. So that's how I handled it, Chuck. I didn't delete the whole account. I just deleted the people that I didn't want to see.
I've done that too. But this was one person I already deleted who found out to bully somebody else who I'm an acquaintance with.
Yeah, it's just nasty. It's nasty. Yeah,
it's tough times out there. Yeah,
it is. But I want to say, 90210 made a huge impact on all of our lives. We talk about that here all the time. And the reason I know that what happened this past week was not great is because I'm a fan of 90210. I know what's good and what's supposed to be good and the way things are supposed to happen. And I was taught really great lessons through this show. And what happened this week would not have been a 90210 storyline. It was.
When they got out of the writer's room, I don't think. Unless it was a crime story, Larry and Chip could have worked on it. Where did the 16 million voters go? 16 million voters less than 2020. That's crazy.
It's almost like Professor Finley has won the election and has taken and
he's walking again because he promised people he'd walk again. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
But before I go, Pete, so you went to the pizza places.
I went to one. I went to Scars, and it was amazing. So the New York still has good pizza. Just for the record, I want to be clear about that. But Chuck, the Dodgers won the World Series. There was some good news in this world. We haven't been around in a while, but the Dodgers won the World Series.
Very impressive.
It's a very interesting thing. I was in Las Vegas. I did not go to the any of the World Series games, although I was there watching the Padres game. Well, I saw us beat the Padres, and I saw us beat the Mets. So that was, no offense, Pete, but those were all good. But the thing is I was there at a sports book watching the first game of the World Series, and I ended up talking to a guy at a bar, and he was about my age, and he was all decked out in Yankee gear, and I had my Dodger hat on, and he originally thought I was there. I told him I was there canvassing for a candidate, and he went, "Oh, well, goodbye." I said, "Goodbye." He said, "Well, obviously we don't have anything to talk about." And I went, "Well, I guess, if you're supporting that team, you're probably supporting the other guy." And he went, "No, I'm not for that guy. I'm a yellow dog Democrat from Texas." And I went, "Oh, okay. He's just a big Yankee fan." And he was a nice enough guy. So I go to move to where I'm going to be standing. And that's where I was standing when Freddie Freeman hit the legendary Grand Slam home run. And I see this guy later. His name is Gary. And I said, "I'm sorry it worked out the way it did, but boy, did we see one of the greatest baseball games I've ever seen." And he said, "Yeah, well, the Yankees, what's going to kill them? It killed them tonight. It's their fielding." And he talked about a play. It was a play from right field to second base. The second baseman bobbled it. It allowed Ohtani to get to third. Therefore, they intentionally walked Mookie, and therefore it was and so there was a fly ball that happened. We scored the tying run. So all of that stuff happens, and I couldn't help but think of him when we got to that fifth inning. in the last game of the World Series, the fifth game, we're down 5-0. I'm watching it at my daughter Lindsay's house. It's a lot of tension. She and her husband are still furious that Dave Roberts didn't try to win Game 4 with our second tier bullpen. And Karen shows up. I see her at the door, and she says, "Don't worry. I know we're losing, but I'm here, and the vibes are going to change." And that was the top of the fifth inning.
Amazing.
And then comes the fielding, and that takes us back to Gary's prediction that the fielding is going to bite them in the ass, and it sure did.
It did, and thankfully, because I hate the Yankees, so sorry for anyone listening, and I'm so happy that the Dodgers.
Well, I hope Soto goes to the Mets. There's a chance.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Jessica says that she's hold up. Jessica says she's disengaging with reality. So there's.
Oh yeah, I did that a long time ago.
And then Melissa says that Brandon's Brooke would have voted for Trump. Do you remember Brooke?
Brandon's Brooke would have fucked Trump.
Do we have a thought on what characters would have voted for who? Andrea is definitely voting for Kamala Harris, right? I mean, that's
Abby worked very hard in the state of Michigan, and I think felt some pride that the woman who was running for senator there, a really good woman named Slotkin, was able to withstand the tide and get elected to the Senate. So that definitely her. Brandon would have, declared Canadian citizenship and wouldn't have done it. Dylan definitely had that close relationship with Sherrod Brown. He would have been on the losing team. Donna wouldn't have known there was an election. Kelly most likely would have voted for Robert Kennedy and been disappointed that his name wasn't on the ballot. Tiffany, I can't judge. Larry, you'll have to take that one because you worked with her longer than me. And Bryan would have just danced his way right down the middle. Yeah. And definitely Steve was voting for Trump.
Oh, totally. I was going to say Steve was voting.
He wants that tax cut, and
the other good thing that happened, I sent you guys this picture, but I got to hang out with my TV crush in Canada with Kathleen, with Claire Arnold, and that was
your movie was up there, right? The pizza movie.
Yes, it played in Nova Scotia, and it was amazing. It was very fun and funny. People laughed, and it was great. What's that?
You went to Nova Scotia?
I went to Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's the other end of the world.
It literally is the end of the world. Yeah, I met a girl from the end of the world, and whatever. So it was a lot of fun, and I got to hang out with Kathleen. Got her to try a Guinness.
Did you have any pizza in Nova Scotia?
I don't want to talk about it, but yes, they in the screening they did have pizza there, but it was. It's just we'll leave it there.
Not LA pizza, huh?
No, it's not even. I wouldn't even know what to call it. So, but it was lovely.
Yeah. Detroit pizza.
Yeah. All right, Chuck. We have some dailies to watch now.
Enjoy, Bryan. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Bye, Chuck.
Come back to the show.
Bye, Larry. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Talk about other things and come back to the show.
Okay. Well, you figure out what that'll be, and you'll let me know.
Sounds good. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, Larry. Now let's get into the dailies here. Are you ready to look at that?
Basically, going to first plug my book.
Okay.
And
there we go. Background.
I have it right there. And because there's people I know out there who have not gotten this book. People out there who have not reviewed this book. I have 12 reviews. It's humiliating, folks.
Okay.
I thought it's going to be good. You're going to love it. Bryan loved it. Did you call like a teenage Elmore Leonard?
I said it's very much in the vein of Elmore Leonard, but with teenagers.
Seriously, you need some entertainment during the holidays. You got me traveling and stuff. The book just fits into what you want. You can go to my website, larrymullen.com, and pick up the book and read it and review it, please, folks. What's going on? Yeah, so I'm hoping to have the book club also first week in December, first Wednesday in December, and that's a big thing. I'm hoping to have an announcement then that the second book is going to be published out in the spring or late summer. Late spring. And that book is already written. It's called Crushing Cabo with the Pool Guy's Kid and the same cast of characters. And it's good stuff, I'm telling you. So that's it. I'm gonna.
Yep.
drop that
No,
back
I
down.
think that's great. I mean, we got it. We have a lot more to cover here. It's been a few weeks, and so much has happened in 3 weeks. We had to cover everything that happened. That's what we just did. So, Bryan, hi, welcome to the show, Bryan. How's everything with you?
Everything is a-okay. I do gotta say, just checking on with Larry. I mean, everybody that's looking for distraction right now, there you go. A perfect escape from reality. Pool Guy's Kid. Go pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Thank
I
you,
thought you
Bryan.
were going to mention my picture with Kathleen. I thought you were going to talk about that, but
That's, I mean, hey, I got
I
love
mean,
for
I have to
everybody.
say though, after hanging out with her, Larry, I still owe you a thanks. I mean, if you didn't suggest this
Man, it started it all.
guest,
Yeah.
it was the thing that started it all.
Go hard.
We had to go hard. Yep. Okay. I want to show you a daily,
I believe
but
in gratitude. I believe that people should be grateful for chances that they got. Unlike Chris Williams. Okay.
well, I am very grateful for this podcast. And is that what you're referencing? I am very grateful.
Kathleen understood how it changed her whole life, and so she couldn't. She was going to come on the show. It just
I
didn't
caught
work
that
out.
last part, Larry.
Unlike Chris Williams, who never came on the podcast, right? Anyway, so here I wanted to show you something here. But I am very grateful for this podcast. I mean, there's someone, actually, the person, I just talked with her about this yesterday. The person that actually got Kathleen's attention is a girl on Instagram named Kathleen Devoted. And I don't know her name. I do know her name. It's escaping me right now. But she started sharing all of our videos. And Kathleen finally she followed Kathleen Devoted, and then that's how she came to the podcast.
I remember that. Then you got
Yeah.
your cousin
So
over.
I mean, that girl, I'd send you something from the merch store as if that's gratitude enough. Okay, Larry, on some of these dailies, there's something called wild track.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, I'm going to play a wild track and tell everybody what's happening here.
Well, that probably means that the sound quality was bad wherever we were shooting. There's got to be a problem. So we just shot a wild track of the dialogue that later it could be matched if possible.
All right, this is a Tiffany wild track.
You rolling?
Get rolling. Just get speed and action.
Episode 28, scene 35, Valerie. I'm sorry. Okay. It's not that. I'm just thinking of Valerie behind there, that's all. Anyways. Why do you pretend you don't know the real reason why I hate you so much?
Explain it.
Yeah, she should come on the show and talk about her stuff. We were paying her a lot of money to do that.
To do a wild track,
a wild line, because whatever she did in the picture didn't work. So that was going to be shot over someone's face, basically. It was just a wild line that was advanced, because whatever was that kind of meant probably she blew her take or her coverage on the thing, and they just wanted to get it wild. They didn't have time to do a setup.
Listen, I want to ask you though. We've now looked at a bunch of dailies of Tiffany, and we see her having fun. I'm going to say she's having fun on set. She's saying shit. She's talking to people. Is this something that you knew, Larry?
Like I said, I didn't hang around the set, so no. I mean, to me, that's a sign of an immature actor. more on, less off.
Well, I mean, she just seems unfocused. If I'm being totally.
That's what I mean. She's learning her craft. We're paying her to learn her craft.
Right. Okay, I'm going to go back to.
She's great in doing it, and the final product is good. But she was not where the other kids were. The other kids were more experienced.
I have a couple before we get to everyone's here for the Donna thing. And it's not a lot of clips of it, so we will show it, but I want to show a couple of other things first. I don't know if we showed this one last week or 2 weeks, whenever that was.
And action.
Oh, you shouldn't have, really.
And action.
Not if. Wait, what am I? I'm
What
sorry.
we're doing.
Yeah, where are my lines? Do we have one?
Don't need lines.
Okay.
And action. No, you can do it again. This time, hold it steady for just a little bit so I can insert it. Take it back and action. Cut.
What's that?
What show is that from?
This has got to be the episode of you say birthday.
Yeah, that probably was the Prince gave Claire a present.
That's exactly what that is. That's Carl and Claire. I recognize her lime green nails. So
usually that kind of shot would be done by the B crew. You know, people picking up the B stock. That's an insert shot. You know, sometimes those directors of that stuff really go on to big things. That was the whole training ground for Cattle when we were there. The insert crew.
That was interesting to me that they would use the actual actors for some shit like that.
And it didn't work out. Probably couldn't use it. Probably had to reshoot it with an insert crew.
Because they didn't even know what they were talking about.
Maybe he had a little extra time and he was trying to help out. That would have been Michael Lang, who's their experienced director. He knows he's going to need that shot in the editing, and he doesn't want to leave it to chance that the insert crew is going to grab it. So
that was the perfect example of if you just said the word actors, like Nick running lines that don't exist. You know, Kathleen is confused as to what he's doing because she is she knows what's up, and like it's just a fucking insert.
It's not on the actors.
Just a fucking insert.
Their faces are not on the camera. No one, it's like, it just doesn't work out. Yeah, so that's why you have an insert crew to shoot stuff like that. Just like the handshakes and all things like that when there's a close up. What else you got, Pete?
I've got Chloe.
Here. Action.
Then I'm gonna close with Lullaby for You. David, you're not even listening.
Sorry. I brought chocolates and roses and a stuffed animal, and she wouldn't even get out of it.
Well, maybe you need to let her work through this by herself.
I can't do that. Come on, after what she's been through, she needs me.
She needs something. But I'm not sure it's you.
Let me go again.
Austin Green is a professional, so he leaves good space between their lines in case it has to be edited. He doesn't want to have any chance of an overlap to ruin her shot. Really interesting how he did that. Small thing, if you probably didn't even notice it, but she would give a line and he would pause. He wouldn't come right in like that. This seemed natural. He let a break be in there so it wouldn't step on her in any way.
You're talking about Bryan.
Yes, Bryan was a professional and knew how to do that. So I don't understand. That was on the same reel as Tori losing her.
No. It's a totally. This is the extra stuff from Luther Vandross. Yeah. Okay, I'm showing that, and then I'll save the main event, which will be the Donna stuff, which also feels like you're going to be watching porn in a few minutes.
We don't have any. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have any of Chloe singing the song I wrote, huh?
No, unfortunately, not in this episode. Here's some stuff of David and Donna. I don't know if it's a breakup or what's happening.
Come
on, I'll buy you some champagne.
David, actually, I'm really exhausted. Would you mind if I went home early?
No, that's fine. I'll give you a ride.
Well, I mean, you have a lot to finish up here. I thought I'd just get a ride from Claire.
All right.
Okay.
Well, happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
Donna. Look, I'm really glad you're feeling better. But there's still something I'm not real sure about.
What's that?
Why you wouldn't get out of bed when I came over.
What are you talking about?
Well, I brought you Valentine's presents and breakfast, and nothing worked.
David, I've been depressed. You know that.
You sure you weren't just trying to get me out of the house so Cliff could come over?
Oh, please. That is crazy.
No, what's crazy is that I bent over backwards trying to make you feel a little better, and the whole time you were after some other guy.
I wasn't. I swear to you. David, I've told you, I haven't talked to Cliff in 4 months. David, Luther wants to know if we all want to go out for a late bite.
Yeah, sure. I will. Donna's a little tired. She's going home.
Yeah, you got that right. Is she okay?
I don't know.
Are you?
Yeah, let's go get that dinner.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like watching.
That was pretty good for an outtake.
I wish there'll be coverage to come, and every character there would have been covered. And yeah, that's just a good master, a good keeper master that with pros working, working it, and people coming in, going out, and good stuff.
Wow, is Chloe attractive?
Yeah, Natalia.
Oh, geez. Especially in the second. In the second.
We cast her, we went, okay, yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is going to work.
Do you remember this episode?
This is the one that starts with her kissing Brandon in the telethon, or was this not the telethon? Maybe that's the season before.
That's the season before. Brian, do you remember this episode? Some people are saying what this is.
Did Donna just have?
I was piecing together what was going on. This is clearly after Donna was being held hostage at the news station.
That's what I thought. Yeah, she's traumatized still by our friend.
And then the clip is added to the mix. He's back and talking to Donna, so that's where David's coming in with that.
Because I know this is a sweeps month episode because it's February, so it has to be. So yeah, the last one would have been the hold up at the radio station, the hostage at the radio at the TV station, and now this one. Yeah, it's a tough bounce back.
I'm just reading people's comments here. If anyone knows what this is, Catherine West says this is season 7.
Season 7, yeah. So it's after the hostage.
Valentine's episode after Donna got held hostage.
It's episode 2 of Sweeps. There were 2 more. There's 4.
This is the Luther Vandross episode.
Yes, I mean he's the giant. I mean, to have Luther Vandross, one of the great R&B singers of all time.
And I showed all that last week, right? I showed
we saw the Luther stuff with him actually in it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you see him singing? Do you want to see that?
Oh, let's see it. No, we didn't get any singing. I don't think so.
Well, he's not really singing.
Well, obviously he's not going to be singing live.
I think that's one of the most. It's not shocking, but it feels like I think fans might think, when Luther Vandross is, singing, that he's actually singing, but he's actually not singing. So, I don't know. I don't know if this is it. Let's see. Let's just move to. Let's see what this is.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, on this Valentine's Day, the Peach Pit After Dark is proud to present the man you've all been waiting for, Mr. Luther Vandross.
By the way, this is a legend. You had a legend on this.
He ended up in a wheelchair. So this is amazing. Like probably the last performance he was walked at.
Now he's not singing. This is a track. It's an audio track.
Yeah, he's just doing what people do when you're on television.
Oh, there you go. That's Luther singing.
Yeah, it was it was a chance to really have some amazing acts on the Peach Pit After Dark. It was fun to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a legend, and he got to play in the game. You know what I mean? He got to be on the show. He got to interact with David. He talked with Mel. We saw that last week.
Yeah,
He was a fan of the show, so I mean, it must have been great for him too.
He loved the show.
Joy says Natalie was from Saved by the Bell, the new class. Did you know that, Brian?
I knew that. Yeah, she was on.
Like I said, we viewed that as the minor leagues, and we thought we could always bring people up.
Not a single episode. I don't know anything that Tiffany did on that show. I'm not going to get into it, but
this is the sequel to Saved by the Bell. Tiffany was on the original, then Saved by the Bell, the new class was a series after the original, and then there was the college years, and they did the new class with a whole new cast of characters in high school.
It's a cartoon. It's a Saturday morning cartoon, is what it is to me.
Well, yeah. What's wrong with that, Pete?
Well, it's supposed to have actors in it and not Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo's a Saturday morning cartoon. This is the same to me. Okay, Melissa says so. This is lip syncing. Yes.
Yep. Just like on American Bandstand, Top of the Pops. They always got a lip sync on them.
Okay. They didn't always do that. We sometimes had live performances, but it was going to take too long for us to do it with him, and it was just not going to work out.
Well, what's surprising to me is even like the Jamie Walter stuff is all pre-taped.
Not all of it.
Well, but some of it feels like he's right here with me.
It's sort of like, when he's singing on his pickup truck the first time he sees Donna.
That's real. Yeah.
I mean, Dick Dale was real at the beach party at the end of season 5. That was live. I always very upset with that director. Didn't get enough coverage of Dick Dale, one of the great.
Which episode is this? Which director?
Yes, I Love You, the two-parter where Dick Dale plays at the pool party, which Ray gets mad at Donna for having a skimpy bathing suit.
Have we ever covered that?
What?
Have we covered that episode? We have to cover that episode because I mean that whole and that everything you just said.
Well, that's where we see Elle for the first time. We have Dylan hung out of the tram by trying to get too close to. It's the culmination of the Charlie Dillon story where they have the movie, which is they're going to cast the mobster's wife, and
I feel like passed through it.
Is Kelly still under suspicion about the whole lesbianism thing here, or is this well acted?
It's a great episode. I wrote it with Chip. It was
By the way, Larry, you're going to miss Sarah Melson is performing all over the place here in LA now, and you're not.
Yeah, I'm missing. Believe me, there's a couple of shows next week. I'd be at band I really like, Gold Stars, playing at the El Cid November 20th, and the 21st. Lucero is at the Regent, one of the great rock and roll bands.
It's all happening in LA.
Yes, you've seen Lucero. I took you to twice.
Yeah, they're amazing. All right, here's Kelly breaking up with Tom.
You got time for a night?
Yeah, I'm just about to get started. How about you?
I don't know, Tom.
Wait a sec, I'm hearing something I don't like here.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go home, okay?
Wait a sec. I thought we had plans.
Well, I changed my mind.
Well, what happened? Was it something I said? We haven't talked all night.
No, it's not you, okay? You're a great guy. But I'm not in love with you, you know?
Who said anything about love?
Actually, Valerie did. She's crazy about you. And the truth was, I did go after you to make her jealous. And it worked.
So what you're saying is that you had no feelings for me whatsoever?
No, I did. I do, okay? I do. But I started this for all the wrong reasons. And it's about time I did something right.
Yeah, well, you may feel good and honest, but I still feel pretty dumped.
I'm sorry.
I'll get over it. Happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
We won't see that into that. Boy, it's a really sour episode. I don't kind of remember.
What is this episode?
Yeah.
This is an episode that Luther Vandross is on. Like, I mean, what are we doing?
Play Tom.
I was gonna say the actor, I forget his name, that played Tom is so great.
You remember Bryan? What his name is?
He's been on this podcast. That's so obnoxious.
No.
Kane McCoy.
He's very good. He's wonderful.
And that was brutal without the music or any other background noise. I mean, just brutal. I mean, look at Kelly just telling him, I'm not in love with you. I used you to get back at Val, and just with a smile on her face the whole time.
He was waiting for his coverage. He was going to get his coverage. It was all going to be covered with close-ups on each of them.
Yeah, that would be like a
good master. I was so noisy though, so I'll probably have to redo the dialogue in the ADR room. I don't know.
The real Kelly Taylor.
I hate when the directors have a lot of extras and they feel the obligation to kind of move them all around all the time.
I was going to ask you about that because I mean we're in the After Dark and there's so much shit going on. People crossing.
James Darren's episode. This is James Darren did this.
It could be. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. We saw it 10 times.
Did this episode or somebody. Yeah. Again, I always have that problem when we do beach stuff. The directors always want to pack the beach with so many people. I'm thinking, no, the beach is better when there's nobody there. It's more, you don't want to have a crowded beach. I mean, unless it's a holiday or something. Anyway,
but the After Dark was very busy this episode. Like it was like there's so many people crossing in front of people.
Well,
like I think
appearing.
But the most annoying thing about the busyness is people crossing in front of the actors.
The director thinks that's really cool. And you know what? Though in his defense, he's giving himself edit points also.
Okay, fine, but still, it's like the actors are talking. You know what I mean? The actors are talking.
They're all going to get their money shots later on, so they're not fazed by it. They're good pros.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Catherine West says, "I love hearing them with dead air. This is so cool. It's like being there." Okay, I agree.
It's a hard job, and you can see how the pros are better than the people who are inexperienced that we've seen.
Yeah. Joy again. Holy crap! Dick Dale was live. So awesome. They cut him out entirely on the streamers. Wow, that's just. I knew that was going to upset Larry so much. Yeah. Okay, let's watch what we're all here for. We have 3 clips. They're not very long. Of Donna losing her virginity. Again, there's no music. So it's basically the scenes. And the first one's 13 seconds, one's about a minute, the next one's about a minute. I'm just giving everybody the guidelines of what's happening. And it will feel
And cut it.
okay, that's the first bit. Now, it's very easy. That was very easy. It's weird without the music. There's a lot of candles. Here we go. Get ready for some uncomfortableness.
Okay, baby. I like this program. And action. I guess so lucky.
You waited. Wait. Got another surprise for you. I love you so much.
I love you too.
What are you doing?
So this is porn. We're watching. We're watching.
Like you stumble upon your best friend's sex tape is what it feels like.
This is before we had intimacy coordinators, so those kids are making it up themselves, basically, with the director, Jason.
You stumbled. You're a young kid, and you stumbled upon Donna and David's sex tape. Yeah.
Well, when she said I have a surprise, I was expecting a can of whipped cream to come out.
I suspect there was an insert of the condom. You know, we have the B-roll.
I have the third shot. I have one more clip. Yeah. Just when you thought it was uncomfortable.
Mark. And action.
Forgot. Another present for you. I love you so much. I love you too.
And cut it.
Good man, Jason. Good. Keep that thing going. You give yourself a shot in case you need it. You know, Bryan needed to lower down his body a little sooner if I was intimacy coordinator. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. The kids worked really hard on that together with Jason, and it's a classic scene, you know, when it gets all cut together. I always make fun of, because when you see the opening shot, you see all these candles in the foreground. Jason
We saw some there too.
He wanted to have so many candles, the fire marshal had to shut him down. So, I mean, I always find that as hilarious, the candle thing. The directors love candles. Just like they love.
I mean, he even used it, and I love Jason. But he even rack focused out of the scene into a candle. Like he was so into it. Yeah.
Like, you know, when a director tells you, I'm gonna start the shot in the mirror and pull out. Like no one has ever done that before. They set you to leave when they tell you that thing. I wonder if it's still that way, but that used to always crack me up. Like every director was the same way.
Jessica says, so uncomfortable without the music. Did you feel it was uncomfortable without the music?
What work it is, how acting is hard work, and you have to repeat that many, many times, exactly the same way.
The thing is, to me, is Bryan and Tori are all on it. They're in it. You know what I mean? Like the actors are doing this. You know,
if you listen to Tiffany, I mean, Tori and Bryan talk on their last podcast. I mean, you know, this is new to them.
Yeah, they had relationships and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
It must have come really natural to them.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, it was just a little bit like the Wild West because they were not intimacy coordinators as such. There was no neutral party putting this together. I mean, he had the director, but he wasn't hardly neutral. He's trying to get the best, hottest shot he can.
Right, and the director's Jason. Yeah, I do think that Jason was the smartest person to direct this, because he knew them both very well and they probably could feel comfortable telling him what they were uncomfortable with. I have to say, the condom thing is really, really weird.
It's the 90s. You got to sell the safe sex.
That's basically it. We're coming out of the aftermath of the AIDS epidemic. You know, it's really important to do that.
Has anyone done that with you, Bryan? Like in that manner?
About the condom?
Like almost like in the promotion of the condom, because I feel like that would be really.
It's definitely not a surprise. I have another present for you.
Right? It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. Melissa says, "I don't know why I'm enjoying this." Like, so while Jessica was uncomfortable, Melissa really loved it. So
same way, I enjoyed it too.
And Renee says, "This is why Bryan freaked out about the Val scenes in season 5."
Exactly. And the guys really played it up, to his discomfort, just as a joke, just because it was, it's a rough shop sometimes.
Did you
So,
ever
yeah,
hear,
so
Larry? Did you ever recall hearing murmurings about kissing scenes? Actors saying, I want to do this, because I know general rule I've heard from actors is, open mouth, no tongue. Did you ever
Well, that
hear
was
any
classic.
murmurings
I
after?
mean, Andrea would say that too. You put your, she'd get people fired if they, she told them beforehand. She gave them a trigger warning, so to speak.
Well, I mean, you've dealt
No,
with
but
kissing.
acting, they would work it out.
You dealt with kissing
It's one of the
problems,
perks of the job because you're kissing beautiful people. Don't forget.
but you've dealt with kissing problems.
Then you have the real kissing problem. People don't really
Oh.
want to get close to someone else, whether it's a body odor thing or just a
You learned that?
personality misfunction. That's what happens. I mean, especially when you have stars of the show who kind of have a lot of control. You want to
You
keep
have
them
to.
happy. You need to
People
keep them happy.
are wondering what is the body odor story. You have to go back and watch some of our old podcasts. I would lean into the season 6 casting episode, and you'll find out a lot there on that one. But no, it's I mean some of the kissing, we always look at kisses on this show, on this podcast, and some of them are amazing and in it, and they feel very connected. And this feels like it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, again, they knew they could make this work. They also knew that the fans were waiting for this. We waited a long time for this relationship, and they've earned this moment, so they're going to take it, and they took it.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up the dailies that we have.
Fun to see. Really, always impressed to see it, to show people that really acting is a lot of work. And
I mean,
it's a full day of that, standing around and waiting for those moments to do that and execute, hit your marks, and move on. You don't want to be the one keeping the company up.
And the thing is like you look at some of these scenes and you've seen that breakup a million times between Tom and Kelly on the show. And now you're looking at this and you're like, oh, I see how that came together, sort of, And I mean, obviously he's going to get coverage and all that stuff. I suggest that we all now get out of here and watch the Luther Vandross episode so we can find out what the hell was going on in that episode, because it seems very dark. I feel like it's a Valentine's episode too.
It's Valentine's Day, and
it's a downer episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You're coming right off the.
I was probably. What's that, Brian?
I was just saying, like you were saying earlier, you're coming right off the whole hostage situation, so it's really tough to bounce back from that and have kind of a jovial Valentine's Day episode when you have that as your previous.
We don't really have a lot of time to kind of rebound because again, we're in sweeps month, which are the money balls. It's where the advertising is sold, so we're expected to give them promotable episodes. So I can't remember what the big story was in that episode, but it wasn't Kelly and Tom. I don't think. There must have been a Brandon story in there somewhere.
Renee, who is the knower of, I'm with Kathleen, she's the knower of all things. I'm probably a little bit more obsessed than Renee, but it's a big Valentine's Day episode. Val with her mom, Kelly and Val drama, so good! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a heavy episode, actually.
More bad news. More bad news, guys.
Yeah.
They don't show it on Pluto or streaming because of Luther, so it's only available on DVD.
What a joke.
That's 2 fucking things we just learned about today that we can't see. Dick Dale, which we have to cover. I'm gonna go watch that episode tonight to see if we covered that or not.
No, we didn't cover
That's
it.
a fun one.
That was great fun, that episode. Boy, we had some spectacle in that one. We went up to the tram to the top of Mount San Jacinto and hung Luke Perry out the tram.
Yes.
Oh, is that the one with Ryan Thomas Brown shooting the margaritas?
It might be, but we have to acknowledge it's Ryan Thomas Brown's birthday, by the way.
That's
Happy
right.
birthday.
Yeah, thank you for segueing that, for weaving it in.
I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, but
we love this month. One of our favorite sporting characters. It's his birthday today. I hope he's raising the roof. All the best to him.
Yes,
he's a great fan of the show and a great guy.
We have to have him back on. Maybe if that is in the episode next week, we'll have him.
That's
on.
where we met Bryan at his wedding. Where we kind of took over Vegas for his wedding. We kind of hijacked his wedding for the show.
Oh, yeah.
Bryan, that's right. Yeah,
Months was got to come to Ryan Thomas Brown's wedding. It was like a work. It was a classic WWE work.
The classic twin brother storyline.
Larry, I said, it's just one last election thing. I said that I thought, do you know what a dusty finish is? Do you remember what that is in wrestling? A dusty finish is when it's obviously a Dusty Road creation. When the bad guy has pinned the champion evilly, like he hit him with brass knuckles or something, and it looks like he's going to win the title or beat the good guy, and then another referee comes down and says to the other referee, all this stuff went down, and they reverse the decision and the match continues. I was hoping that the election, there would have been a dusty finish where you think Trump has won, but then somebody comes down and says, oh, reverse that because this happened, but we never got, in the end, it was clean. It was clean. It was a clean win.
All the costume changes he did at the end, he's more entertaining, I think.
I guess so. Yeah.
And the garbage man character and the dancer, and I have no idea. I mean, look, I'm hopeful for America. I believe, people really, they want to change. I guess they were unhappy. They were paying
the fact that people saw this person stand in a crowd and listen to music for 45 minutes, and just stand listening to music for 45 minutes.
It shows you how California, being associated with California, really hurt her, unfortunately.
I guess.
California.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, sorry to bring that back up, but
bring it back up. I don't really want to. I've moved on. I'm in a town in Ohio called Denial.
Well, wait a minute. I'm just curious. In your town, do you have
Los Angeles?
Do you have Trump signs in like people in your neighborhood?
No, not in the town I'm in, but the other towns, yeah, lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
Look, people are people. They wanted him. It wasn't even close. She didn't win the popular vote, for God's sake.
Here's an idea. Scotty says, "Can we get Netflix to buy the rights and the show the whole darn thing? No missing episodes. Does anyone know how big this would be?"
I mean, I know Chuck made some inroads in getting Paramount to kind of pony up to replace the music so we could see it. But then again, they got bought, so I don't know what happened. Because don't forget, Paramount got bought by a tech guy.
Now, this is interesting. Catherine West says, I went to high school with Cody Rhodes. He was just at my high school reunion. I know nothing about wrestling. Next time you see him, ask him about the dusty finish. He'll know what that is.
Watch the Mr. McMahon documentary.
Oh, did you see it, Larry? What did you think of it?
I was nervous the whole time I was watching. I was having such an anxiety attack just seeing the faces again. I was part of this nightmare.
Yeah.
And this brilliant nightmare, because again, there's such talented people there, and Vince himself is one of the great showmen of all times. Just a total con man. And Donald Trump, he was part of that WWE. He's in the documentary because he was in 2 WrestleManias. He defeats Mr. McMahon in the ring.
That's right.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, the documentary was good.
I thought it was really done well. Yeah. Joy points something out that I meant to mention, that the guy who played Evan was Tori's boyfriend in real life.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that either. We've had
it's disturbing. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's.
I don't think it went well. So
let's see what's going to happen if Jack wants to do something next week. Otherwise, we'll do PS I Love You. Well,
I would love to do PS I Love You. Yeah.
Part of that. That was damn. That was the last show he did.
Yeah.
I thought we did it, but there's so much. It's a 2-hour show.
All right, so we'll take a look at that, and we may have not. If we have, we'll just do it. It's okay. It's fine. We'll just look at it again. It's okay. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's good to see everybody. I'm happy about that, and yeah, that's it.
All right, guys.